Greetings to all my tech heads out there in the KevTechify nation, and if you're new here, welcome. In this episode, we're going to look at cloud computing. We'll be discussing cloud and virtualization. We'll do a cloud overview. We'll look at some cloud services and models, and then finally, we'll have a discussion about cloud computing versus data center. This episode is part of my series on enterprise networking, security, and automation for the CCNA. I'm Kevin here at KevTechify. Let's get this adventure started. Cloud computing has several advantages. One of the big advantages here is it enables access to your data anywhere, anytime. The ability to get to that data is crucial to your employees so they can make those business decisions to make the company money. Cloud computing also streamlines your organization IT. And how it does that is we only get the services, or you only subscribe to the services you need. You don't have to pay for anything else additional. You don't have to get any other services there. Cloud services also eliminate the need for on-site equipment maintenance and management. And this also goes into the reducing cost of the equipment, energy, physical plant requirements, and personnel training needs. Because it is now hosted in the cloud, somebody else is doing the support for that hardware. On premise, you don't need electricity, you don't need backup electricity, you don't need cooling, you don't need massive data runs to all of your servers. We can put that all in the cloud. Somebody else manages that. And then the other thing is it allows you to respond quickly when you need to scale up your operations. You're running a big promotion on your website and your traffic is a lot more than you ever thought you would have. You can spin up one or two more servers to help you handle that traffic. And while that promotion's going on with that high traffic, you can have those servers. When you go back to normal business and the traffic dies down a little, you can decommission a couple of those servers, just scaling to what you need when you need it. In general, when we talk about the cloud, we typically talk about three things. We talk about data center, cloud computing, and virtualization. Though data centers can be small, they're usually a big operation. They provide lots of computing power, lots of bandwidth, power, and cooling. Only very large organizations like Data or Google. Here is Google's data center in the Netherlands. Only these very large organizations, they can afford to build their own data centers. Other smaller organizations, they lease space from a data center. Cloud service providers, they offer their services out of these large data centers. Two of the main cloud service providers out there right now are Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. There are two types of clouds: public clouds and private clouds. Public clouds offer services to the general population, whereas private clouds, they're intended for specific organizations or entities, such as governments, and they're only accessed by those organizations. There are different categories of cloud services. SaaS, or software as a service. SaaS refers to on-demand software or a subscription model, where licensing and delivery of the software happens through the cloud. And you'll find this with services like Office 365, Adobe Creative Suite, and even cloud gaming services like Google Stadia. Access to the software typically happens through a web browser. You typically don't own the software, but you typically lease the software. The next cloud service type is PaaS, or platform as a service. Is where the cloud service provider provides the platform like the Java or .NET platform, for a developer to develop an application. This oftentimes involves supplying databases and tools to the developer so they can quickly develop an app. And the third cloud service is infrastructure. So infrastructure as a service. And it's virtual computing that can be provided over the internet on demand. This includes virtual computing such as virtual servers, as well as virtualized storage and virtualized networking capabilities that can be provisioned, allocated, and supplied on demand on an as-needed basis. It was my pleasure to provide you with this wonderful episode on cloud computing. If you like this episode and you got value out of it, please click that like button, give it a 5-star rating, leave a comment. This all helps me bring you more great content. Please take a minute to subscribe to my channel. All my socials and contact information are on my website, KevTechify.com. There you can find out how to get all these episodes in video and podcast form. In the upper right is my playlist for my series on enterprise networking, security, and automation for the CCNA. Thank you so much for watching this episode of my series on enterprise networking, security, and automation for the CCNA. Once again, I'm Kevin. This is KevTechify. I'll see you next time for another great adventure.